me what you want, and you shall have me.
In this video, we're going to tell you how you can romance Minthara in Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3 and retain Wyll and Karlach as companions for the rest of the game. Subscribe to the Linus Wilson channel. We give you the secrets to crush Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, so the core principle here is that you want to, before you do anything that causes the grove to explode in a fight between the Druids and the Teiflings, you want to recruit Wyll and Karlach. And so my earlier video, I showed you that, if you kill Kagha, you're going to lose Karlach because the Druids and the Teiflings are going to fight each other. And so if you don't recruit Karlach before doing that, then she'll never become a companion. She'll just reject you and say you're a terrible person, even though maybe when you did it, you weren't trying to be bad or evil or sneaky. But there's basically two things that'll cause that conflict. So you want to first don't have the Druids and Teiflings kill each other. So don't kill Kagha and don't steal the Idol of Silvanius prior to recruiting Wyll and Karlach. So Will's going to be hanging around the Emerald Grove. Karlach is near the Toll House, which is kind of north of the Blighted Village, east of the Joaquin's Rest fast travels. Once you've got those two on board, then you can kind of implement this strategy. And so you can kill 2 out of the 3 goblin leaders. If you want to do that for XP purposes, I highly recommend doing that before you implement this strategy. But this is an evil strategy, right? It's evil. You're going to the dark side here. That being said, you will retain Karlach and Wyll doing it. So you have to leave Minthara alive. I didn't talk to Halsin for this because I was tired of talking to Halsin. You cannot retain Halsin with this strategy, so you can't recruit him. I was expecting that he would attack our camp, but he did not. So what you want to do is you want to have Wyll and Karlach, and I would take off all their armor and just have them either steal the Idol of Silvanius in plain sight with their armor off and then let them get killed. And then the Druids and the Teiflings will kill each other. So you're down to 2 companions, right? Your core person, and you're going to leave those 2 at camp. They're not going to be there. There's no point in being there. And you can even transfer the Idol of Silvanius to your group leader or whatever prior to Karlach and Wyll dying. And they'll be dead, and you could resurrect them, but you're not going to resurrect them. The alternative way to do this is to kill Kagha. So you want to, for killing Kagha, you want to go to Zevlor, and if you go through his dialogues enough, he'll initially say kill all 3 goblin leaders, but then he'll give you the option. He said, we could take out Kagha, and if you do that, the same thing will happen as if you stole the Idol of Silvanius. So you may want to have like 4 people to make sure that you kill Kagha, and then have 2 escape, or you could just send Wyll and Karlach in just to kill Kagha, because I actually did not have any resistance. I got to kill her all by herself, even though her chamber was full of people. And just, kill her off quick. I recommend silencing her because she's got some good spells. But, so you can do it with 4 people, but you want to make sure that 2 of the people escape. And do not, absolutely, and I would turn off opportunity attacks. You do not want to ever attack a Tiefling or a Druid. You might be able to get away with it while Karlach and Wyll are dead, but turn off opportunity attacks if you have anybody. So I would do that for sure. For all your characters, whether you're stealing the Idol of Silvanius or you're killing Kagha. This Idol of Silvanius is the simplest thing to do, but so you want to have Wyll and Karlach both dead. Then you go to the Goblin camp and so you want to make sure that she's not aggroed. So you want to make sure that Minthara is not aggroed. So it's somewhat risky if you started killing everybody in the Goblin camp. You might want to tell her first about the location of the Emerald Grove and then start killing everybody in the goblin camp, but then you only have 2 people, right? Because you cannot resurrect Wyll and Karlach until the celebration with the goblins and Minthara. So, and actually they're gonna be auto resurrected. So you're not gonna go to Withers. The game will resurrect them for you. All right. So you tell her you sleep a day. You go into the Emerald Grove. You're going to have a conversation in Zevlor's office, the secluded chamber, and she's going to talk about their great victory and how you killed everybody. And then she say, I want to go to your camp. And she's going to be really excited. As soon as you sleep, when you go back to your camp, there's going to be the goblin celebration. She's going to tell you as soon as you sleep, you're going to have your romantic scene. You will. I would say with a romantic scene, it's probably best if you do not press her when you get that wisdom check. You say, do you want to do the wisdom check because you think there's something wrong, versus just think romantic thoughts, and you'll have easier checks. You can get through this, but just try to avoid conflict with her. In the morning, there'll be a little bit of a scuttle, but, tell her that you want to go to the Moonrise Towers with her, right? And then she'll give you make sure she gives you the lute to summon, or the spider lyre to summon the half man, half drow, half elf, half spider. So I guess a third guy. You don't have to have that, but it just makes it a little bit easier when you go through the mountain pass and enter into the Act 2 Shadow Cursed Lands to have the lyre instead of having to do the illithid check, which you could sleep for. But the key thing is that in the conversation with her, don't really fight her or challenge her or anything or tell her anything. Just tell her that you're going to meet her at Moonrise Towers and you're going to live happily ever after a absolutist life. And that'll be good. And she'll go to Moonrise Towers and she'll like you. You're good to go. And the weird thing is that when you come to this goblin celebration, this is typically, if you had just gone the normal route of not destroying the grove through capturing the Idol of Silvanius or killing Kagha, that this would be the point at which Wyll and Karlach would jump out, right? So if you give the location of the Emerald Grove to Minthara, you either have two. If you resolve, if you show up and meet Minthara before you go into the mountain pass or up the elevator in the Grimforge to the Shadow Cursed Lands. If you go back and try to have the Battle of Emerald Grove, and you either side with Minthara or you kill her, right? If you side with Minthara, they're gonna leave, right? They're gonna abandon you at least by the first camp scene, but maybe even before that. So you can retain them here, and it's just really odd that I think this is going to be patched. I think that this is not an intended thing. It's the fact that they are dead when this happens. And then the game has a exploit or glitch that resurrects your companions here, and it's not registering what your decisions actually were, because I think the intended behavior of the game is that they will quit once the goblin celebrations go on, right? That'll be antithetical to their moral compass or their attitudes towards goblins, and it's pretty grisly actually. If you look at the camp, right, there'll be like dead tieflings scattered around your camp, even though the goblins didn't kill them because they were already dead. It's pretty grisly, and they have the goblin altar, so the fact that Karlach and Wyll are not reacting to this, I think will be patched out at some point. So I did this all after patch 3, and then I sold the Idol of Silvanius first, and then I killed Kagha. I only went all the way up to the romantic scene with Kagha with Minthara when I killed Kagha, but when I stole the Idol of Silvanus, I went all the way to Moonrise Towers and recruited Thara, so I saved her from Moonrise Towers. She's going to be on trial there, and you just need to rescue her from the dungeons of Moonrise Towers where she's being tortured, and then get her out. And I recommend when you do that, you can do that and return to Act 1 as long as you've not gone to the Gauntlet of Shar although I recommend that you're like level 5, because then your fighters get 2 attacks. And your barbarians get 2 attacks at level 5, I believe. So it's a little hard to get there. And going on the convoy without killing them, you may lose out on the Moon Lantern. It's better to just like kill them, get the Moon Lantern, free the pixie, and then the pixie's going to give you the blessing and the bell, so that you don't have to use the Moon Lantern. That is far better than being dependent on the Spider-Man for being able to walk around in the Shadow Cursed Lands. You can get the Blessing of Saloon at the Last Light Inn, but it's just cleaner if you can kill the Spider-Man at the beginning of your journey in Act 2, and then you can go wherever you want to. But yeah, I was able to recruit Minthara into my camp, and seems fine. It seems to work perfectly. I want to thank Cyber Doge for telling me about this. He did this with Wyll and Minthara, and I tested that you can do this and get Wyll, Minthara, and Karlach. He only did it for the Idol of Silvanius, but we did it here for also killing Kagha. So if you're interested in a more neutral way to do this, I recommend checking out my video about the choice between Halsin and Minthara and what you can do the neutral path. That way it doesn't feel so evil. You're not going to have the celebration with Minthara in Act 1 if you go down the neutral path, but you can retain her and potentially romance her when she's maybe a little less creepy in Act 2 or 3. And you'll be able to rescue her in Moonrise Towers while retaining Karlach. But I will say that however you do this, Karlach and Wyll, however you do this, Karlach is going to fail the Hellion Heart quest because Dammon the Armorer will die and he will not be able to complete that quest. So just keep that in mind. You're going to lose a lot of Teiflings if you do the neutral path or you do this kind of evil route to Romancer in Act 1. That you don't want to do this if you want to get the Teifling trophy or if you want to do the Hellion Heart quest with Karlach. You're going to need to kill Minthara to do either one of those things. Subscribe to the Linus Wilson channel. We give you the secrets to crush Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know your experiences in the comments.